Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome back for my March start of Journal of Stitchery. And so we have already done the cover of our book and we've done our stitches in the very beginning. And for January, we had Bouncing Bunny with vintage lace. For February, we had a neutral background with fancy flowers, and now we are on to March. So March's project is vintage fabric for the background and bright butterfly for the foreground. So I've grabbed out some fabric and I'm going to figure out what I'm going to put in my background for my vintage fabric. So this fabric is all my mother's fabric, and she was a quilter and a sewer. She sewed a lot of clothes and everything. And so I went back through, and really most of the fabric that I have was my mother's because I'm not a sewer. I didn't do much with fabric, so a lot of the fabric I have is hers. So, but I did just want to show you, she was a gorgeous quilter. And see those stitches? Everything that she made, the whole quilt, the top and everything was all hand stitched, and she'd press it, and you know, she just did such beautiful work. And these are a couple pieces out of a block that she must have started a quilt. And so I thought maybe I might put one of those on there, or both of them. I would have to cut them down. I could do something like that, or like that. I don't like it like that, but that's kind of nice. And then see, how big is my block? There's about an inch up there. And it would be right to the top pretty much. So if I used these, it would be like that. Trying to find the bottom of my fabric. Yeah, about like that. Okay, so that would be like that. It would be about this wide. Maybe. And that would be kind of nice. Let's see what else we have here. So that one could be good. And then maybe I'll just move this aside for now. Put this down here. Okay, so those are definitely a possibility, or maybe just one of those. This is just a very old vintage piece of lace or fabric. Not sure which side is, I think this is the top, it's brighter, but in this fabric, it has these little tiny white bows, and those are actually like embossed on there. You can feel them. That's kind of neat. That's really pretty. I really like just the lightness of that. I found this piece. I'm not sure what this is from. This is probably from about the 70s by the looks of it. But that's really quite pretty. Everything's going to need to be ironed because I kind of have it stuffed. I pulled up stripes because I saw when Rachel and Sarah were doing it, they were doing stripes, but I'm not a red fan, and I don't really, not a huge stripes fan either. And then this is a piece that's really kind of neat. It has little strawberries on it, but the strawberries are orange. But that might look nice with that bottom piece. This purple piece just kind of doesn't go. Might go with that. Now, that purple piece doesn't go. I'll use it for something else later. That's really quite pretty. It's a little bit brighter than that, but it is kind of pretty. And then this fabric, I remember my mom made herself a short sleeve shirt out of this and a pair of blue shorts to go with it. I always thought this was pretty fabric. And this fabric, I don't know what you call it. I'm going to cut a piece off because it's way too big to even try and sample it. This piece of fabric has those bumps in it. I don't know what you call that. I even tried to ask my phone, but my phone didn't know what it was either. Although asking your phone what's fabric with bumps in it, you know. Okay. So maybe that. With that. But that's the thing with this is it takes time to go through and kind of figure out what it is and how you want to lay it out. It should just be relaxing. Just take your time and see what you think as you go. So let's see. If I were to put that one there. And then put this one. I like that flower, so I kind of want that in the middle. And of course, flower would go really well with a butterfly. Maybe put this color underneath. This does have orange and blue in it. Sorry about the quietness. Like I said, it's supposed to just be relaxing. You just take your time and try it out. And if you change your mind later, that's okay too. There, what do we think of that? I don't know. The orange to me, if we're going to have a bright butterfly, the orange is just too bright. So I think I'm going to take that out for now. Maybe save it for later. That one is still a thought. And then this is a quilt top. And it is, I believe it's wedding ring. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not 100% sure. But this would have come from the rescue mission in Muskegon where I grew up, and my mom used to go there and they would tie quilts. That's where you put a front and a back together and you tie it with yarn every so many inches. And then they would use those at the rescue mission, and they would also give them to families. But sometimes people would drop off old quilt tops, and sometimes they would take those and tie them. But if they were, this one is quite threadbare in pieces, so then they would sell them. And I think, I don't remember what it was, $6 for a top or something. Of course, that was a long time ago. And my mom must have bought this one, and she probably figured that she would back it and quilt it, and never got around to it. So, and this is all hand sewn together also. But maybe a piece of this might be nice. And you know, I know you think that's, you know, it's pretty, but it is quite threadbare. So to take the time to put it together and put it on the top of use it as a quilt top. It is a little bit, it has a few holes here and there and that type of thing. Plus the fact I look at it as this, I'm never going to turn this into a quilt top. And if I'm not going to turn it into a quilt top, I might as well use it in my art, or it's going to be stuffed in a drawer forever till somebody cleans my stuff out and then throws it away. Because a lot of this older stuff is not as appreciated as it used to be. And I just don't have the ability to do it as a quilt top. I'm going to take this one. This one's quite tattered. So I'm just going to cut this one off. and see if I can use this, a piece of this. And then I have, you know, my mother didn't make this quilt, but she did, you know, get it thinking that maybe she would finish it. So it's still kind of like, it's nice sometimes to have a piece of those you remember in whatever you're working on as a project. Let it spark joy for you. Okay, let's see. Take that one out. I really do kind of like this. I like all the colors. If I put it on like that. Maybe make this one a little thinner. Doesn't need to be that wide. Put a strip of this down the center, which we don't necessarily need if we're going to make a bright butterfly, because I think I'm going to make a big butterfly. Very busy. Just kind of trying to see what it will look like as a rectangle. I think that that's what I'm going to do. I think that I'm going to put this on the bottom, probably only about as wide as the flower. I'll center this better. And if I have to, we've got this tattered part right here. If I have to, I'll stick a little patch on that. But I do think that I like that. So, and I'm going to put this on the top just to kind of break up that part of the two rings. Or, you know, kind of give it a base. But I think I like how that looks. So, this is going to be my background. Obviously, it's going to be in the shape of a rectangle. And I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to just do, I forget what they call it, just the little, not tacking stitches, because a tacking stitch is kind of like just to hold it there for a little bit and take it out. I'm going to do all the little, just running stitches. And maybe I will do a running stitch like straight down the center and then like this, and then maybe do like 3 running stitches in each one of these, or maybe only 2 because they are kind of small. And I think I'm going to tack the whole thing down like that. And the bottom, I'm not sure what I'll do, because the bottom does have all those little bumps, so it already has texture. If you know what that kind of material is, you can tell me. I know it's like right on the tip of my tongue. It's like, I know what it is, but I cannot think of it. So this is going to be our block. I know this took forever, but that's the whole point of this whole thing. It is a form of slow stitching. It's just something to relax with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to cut it all to the right size, pin it on here, and then just start doing some stitching in the evening until I get it done. And when I come back next week, we'll figure out what we're going to do about the butterfly. So, it's bright butterfly. I'll have to think about that because I do have a lot of bright color there. But maybe I'll do a muslin butterfly with bright colors embroidered on top. We'll see. So thank you very much for stopping by. I hope that if you're playing along with this, that you're enjoying yourself. Don't stress on it. It's supposed to be very enjoyable. So just enjoy your time. If you don't have a lot of vintage fabric, any fabric will do. So, you know, use what you have and enjoy your process of doing it. Thank you very much for stopping by. I'll be next week to show you if I actually got it all sewn down or not, and we'll start thinking about what we're going to do with the butterfly. Thanks again, and I hope that each and every one of you has an outstanding day. Bye-bye.